Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. اللهم أنت السلام ومنك السلام تباركت يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وينفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. ربنا زدنا علما. ربنا زدنا علما. ربنا زدنا علما. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bidayatul Hidayah, the beginning of guidance, page 146. And we are having a long discussion about how we should deal with acquaintances. And this is the last section before the epilogue and the end of the book. Believe it or not.
No, but we left the first portion.
We left the first portion. True.
We just jumped.
Yeah, regarding that jump, we could do it, inshallah. It's just the fiqh in that will be a little confusing for us, that's all. But inshallah, we'll figure something out, inshallah. So we left off, let's go to the last paragraph, inshallah. So Imam Ghazali rahimahullah ta'ala, he says, be wary of associating with the pseudo-jurists of your time. So second paragraph on 146. If you see that you have done, we did this though. If you see that they have done you an act of generosity or goodness, thank Allah who has caused them to love you. But if you see something malicious from them, leave them to Allah, majestic and mighty. Seek His protection from their harm, and do not censure them, nor say to them, don't you know who I am? Or I am so-and-so, son of so-and-so. Or I am a very knowledgeable person. This is the speech of fools. And the most foolish person is the one who deems himself upright and praises himself. So again, Imam Ghazali, there's an interesting point here. He says here, the most foolish person is the one who deems himself upright. The interesting thing he said before, that the epitome of your intellect is that you recognize your faults. And the more you're able to recognize your fault, the better you become. We discussed this in detail before. Those who are professional athletes, they only get to that level because they kept trying to get better. So as long as we are trying to always get better, we'll get better. So he's saying that the epitome of your foolishness is when you think that I'm good, I'm fine. You should know that Allah, mighty and majestic, would not give them power over you except because of some sin you committed in the past. So seek Allah's forgiveness for your sin and realize that it is punishment for you from Him. Be among them, who? Acquaintances. As one who hears the true things they say and turns a deaf ear to the falsehood. So being with acquaintances, he's saying, take the good, leave the bad. Leave the falsehood. One who speaks about their good qualities, and yet he remains silent about their shortcomings. Be wary of associating with pseudo-jurists of your time. Pretend scholars. Pretend scholars. Especially those who busy themselves with differences of opinion and disputation. For they will just be waiting for a disastrous turn of fortune to strike you out of envy. So he's telling us here about those people who are always concerned about the difference of opinion. Like today, we discussed many matters of difference of opinion. But those who specialize in these matters of difference of opinion, it creates an argumentative habit inside of them. So they're always arguing, proving who's right. You'll see brothers, some of our colleagues, they always want to argue who's right. So he's saying these people will always be looking for a time that they can pounce on you. They will make conclusive judgments about you based on negative based on negative supposition, and will wink at one another about you behind your back. So what we learn here is about ourselves, that we ourselves should never be making judgments about anyone based on something we see from them. If you keep their company, they take account of every slip, then confront you with them all when you are when they are angry or during a debate. This is a habit a lot of people have. What do? They take count of every little mistake you make, and they won't say anything, or they might. And then when things get hot, they remind you of every single little mistake that you made. So he's saying, subhanallah. Two things: don't be with those people, and don't be one of those people. Don't be one of those people. They take account of every single slip. Look what he did. Look what he did right there. You see that? Look. And then when the time is right, yeah, Imam, we saw you do that too. Right? Or whoever. Not just Imam. Then confront you with them all when they are angry or during the debate. Now, one thing we learn about debating, if it's a true search for truth, there should be no personal attacks in a debate. The moment someone goes personal in a debate, you know right away, this is not a discussion anymore. This is a fight. They do not help you when you stumble. They don't help you when you stumble. They kick you when you're down. Forgive you when you slip, nor cover up any fault you may have. They take you to account over the most trivial, simple things, small things, insignificant things, and envy you over every blessing, great or small. Envy you over every blessing, great or small. They incite your brothers against you by tale-bearing. Okay, tale-bearing is namima. Namima is when you tell someone something about someone else that he said he did, and your purpose is to create a friction between those two people. Gossip and a higher form of slander. It's called namima. Namima is slander, yes. So my only purpose is to create both of you something between you. Yes, that's exactly what the purpose of this is. So they incite your brothers against you by tale-bearing, gossiping, and false accusation. If they seem pleased with you, outwardly they are all flattery. If they get angry, they reveal a deep inward resentment. So you know what they say about anger? Anger tells you what's really inside. It was always sitting there. When people get angry, only the things that are sitting in the heart, that's what comes out. And so if someone says, oh, I only said it because I was angry, Imam Ghazali is telling you, oh, that means it was there in the first place. You were just hiding it all the other times.
Pressure cooker.
They are externally clothed, but within they are wolves. He said within they're like wolves inside their heart. So these are very important signs of people that you should keep on the acquaintance level. This is the conclusion one comes to about them after observing the majority of them, except those whom Allah Most High protects. To keep their company is to incur loss. Straightforward. And close association with them leads to utter failure. If this is the judgment of one who affects friendship outwardly, what then of one who openly shows his enmity to you? Take the advice of the one who said, be cautious of your enemy once, but be wary of your friend 1,000 times. For it may be that the friend will turn against you, and then knows better, and they, it should, I think. Yes, and they, and them.
And then, because then he knows how
Oh,
to do it
I understand. And then knows better how to harm you. There's a hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Beautiful hadith. It's a hadith like it should be imprinted on your heart. احبب حبيبك هونا ما عسى أن يكون بغيضا يوما ما. Love your beloved to a certain extent, for maybe he will become your enemy one day. وابغض بغيضك هونا ما عسى أن يكون حبيبك يوما ما. He says, and hate your enemy to a certain extent, maybe he will become your beloved one day. That's a hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That don't have any friend where you just totally love so much you tell him everything, and no, have a limit. Have a limit. Asa an yakun, maybe the same friend will one day be your enemy one day. So here he says, be cautious of your enemy once, yet be wary of your friend 1,000 times. For it may be that the friend will turn against you and then knows better how to harm you. SubhanAllah. It has been similarly said, your enemy may sometimes come from your friends. So do not have too many friends. Amen, brother. I feel you. For most of the diseases that you see, have their origins from eating and drinking. What does that mean? Who's a poetry major?
Oh, no, that means that bad diet makes you weak.
No, so what is?
So eating and drinking.
Wait, let's read it again. Your enemy may sometimes come from your friends. I get it. No one gets it?
No, it isn't.
What's the relationship between the food and the friends? The poet said it together.
You invite your friends over to eat and drink.
Nope.
No. With the
They're
way
good for
diseases
you.
come from eating and drinking, similarly, enemies come from friends and
Thank you. MashaAllah.
I couldn't hear.
The author is telling us that your enemies sometimes come from your friends. So from a good thing comes a bad thing. Likewise, the sources of many diseases is this food that you love. This good food is the source of many diseases. Likewise, these good friends sometimes spark out to be the worst of enemies. Look at the next part. And وَكُنْ, and be like Hilal ibn Ala al-Raqiyu. And he said, when I forgave all and harbored no rancor towards any, I relieved myself of the worry of enmity. Indeed, I give good greetings to my enemy upon seeing him, so as to repel evil with salutations. I display joy in meeting one I despise, as if he has filled my heart with happiness. I am not safe with those I do not know. How then could I be safe with those who affect loving me? People are in illness, and their cure is abandoning them. By harshness towards them, the bonds of brotherhood are cut. So make peace with people, and you will be safe from the troubles they cause. And be avid to acquire chivalrous traits. Deal with people with good character, and be patient as long as you remain with them. Should we go one by one? I think we're going too fast. No, it's almost done. Hold on.
Lost in the translation.
Huh?
Lost in the translation. It's a poetry.
See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, be you circumspect.
What does that mean, circumspect?
We have an English major professor. Yeah, taqiyun is taqiyat. It is. It means careful because the Arabic here is that taqiyan, taqiyat. It means wary, careful.
So like cautious, basically.
Cautious.
Careful.
See no evil, hear no evil. Meaning stay away from these people. Speak no evil, be you circumspect, be cautious, be wary. This poem has a lot of meaning to it. We would probably spend the rest of the time on it. Any point of this poem worth discussion in anyone's mind that they would like to discuss about this poem?
I had a question.
My problem is the outward showing of happiness and the inward showing of something else. What do we make of that? Originally it looks hypocritical, but I don't think it is hypocritical. It's deeper than that.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
That's what we're saying. It looks two-faced, but it's not.
It's self-preservation. Like you want to be like.
Thank you. What he's saying here, he says, look, he says, I display joy in meeting one I despise, as if he has filled my heart with happiness. Indeed, I give good greeting to my enemy upon seeing him, so as to repel evil with salutations. So look, he's saying the only reason I'm treating this person good is why? To repel evil. He's not being hypocritical. He's protecting himself from the evil of this brother he doesn't want to get in an argument with. He doesn't want to get in an argument. And look what he says. By harshness towards them, the bonds of brotherhood are cut. He's saying, I want to preserve the brotherhood. That's why I'm not showing my animosity towards him. I'm only showing my friendship towards him. And at the end, he's saying, I'm going to cut back my connections with them to keep the bonds of brotherhood alive. Does anyone else have any other?
Sometimes that can even cause the other person to change. If you're nice to them,
Yeah, that's the.
you don't like what they're doing, but you be nice to the person, not to their deed.
Yeah,
Being a young person is hard to do.
yeah.
Been there.
Any other points of interest in this poem?
I think it kind of just says you don't treat others based on how they treat you. You just treat others. The way
Yes,
you
we
should.
discussed that last night too in halaqah. That's a very good point. الجاهلون قالوا سلاما. In the Quran, إذا خاطبهم الجاهلون قالوا سلاما. When the ignorant speak to them, they say words of peace. That's exactly what he's doing. It's not hypocritical. He's setting himself on good no matter who the person is. That I'm going to be good to people, it doesn't matter who he is. My enemy or best friend, I'm going to be good. Wallahu a'lam. And be as some of the sages have said, meet your friend and your enemy with the same face. One of contentment. See, be the same. Don't change yourself. Neither lowering yourself to them in humiliation, nor looking up to them in awe. Have a dignified bearing without arrogance. That's very important. Be dignified, but don't be arrogant. There's a difference. There's a fine line. There's a fine line between being a dignified individual and being a proud individual. One of the signs of pride is you don't accept correction. That's the major sign. If someone tells you something and you don't accept correction, that's one of the major signs that, wait, I've crossed the line now, I'm in the arrogance category. Take the middle course in all your matters. Take the middle course. Because both extremes in any matter are blameworthy. That's a rule for life. Extremes are not what Islam condones at all. Any extreme. The middle path. Do not look around from side to side with self-conceit. Look at this. This is interesting. He says don't look around from side to side. The only time you start looking at other people is when you think yourself, you're set, you're good. Look at him, look at her. So in parentheses, the word with self-conceit, he's telling you there that if you were not so conceited, you would be concerned about your own faults and fixing who you are. You're not perfect. Nor constantly glance behind you. Do not stop and talk to every group you come across. That's crazy, right? Wow. Do not stop and talk to every group you come across. And if you do sit down with them, do not sit in a restless manner. Look at these etiquettes of sitting with people. You know how you sit with some people and you could tell he just wants to get up and leave? Look at this. Do not sit in a restless manner. Make sure you avoid clasping your fingers together, playing with your beard or ring, picking your teeth, putting your fingers up your nose, a lot of spitting or clearing your throat, swatting flies away from your face, and too much stretching or yawning. Showing how bored you are. Like, oh my goodness, this guy. Whether in front of people, in the ritual prayer or elsewhere. He's saying you should avoid this in general. Yeah. He said avoid sitting with everyone. Like, you know how sometimes everyone you want to talk with the whole masjid. Like, how you doing, brother? How you doing, brother? How's everything? You go through the whole masjid having a conversation. That's what I guess what he's. Wallahu alam. I don't know.
Election time.
Election time. Yes, campaigning. Campaigning. Yes, any statements?
Like, how do you prevent yawning?
Yawning? You know how you prevent it? I'll tell you how. No.
No?
At the time that the yawn comes, try this. Remember that Rasulullah ﷺ never yawned. It's an effect of shaitan. He never yawned. If that word doesn't work, then try A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajeem. If that doesn't work, just don't make it loud. But for some people, remembering that Rasulullah ﷺ never yawned, it actually works. Let's read. Continue, inshallah. Bismillah. Rather, let the way you sit be calm and quiet. Your speech orderly and thought out well. Look, there's a lot you can tell by the way people sit and the way they look. There's a lot you can tell by the way a person sits. Example. If you see me change my position many times while I'm sitting here, for those who know this stuff, it tells them that this person doesn't have stick-to-itiveness. He changes very quickly from topic to topic. And if you know me, then you know me, right? So if you find yourself, you see the person, he always glancing around. It tells you something else about that person. Certain people like to sit with their back to the wall. That indicates a lot of times that they love to be in control of situations. Serious. Those with insight, you sit with them for 5 minutes, they can tell a lot about you. A lot about you. Who you are, what you do, like what you're about, just by one sitting with you.
And how about the ones who talk to the neighbor?
No.
Or the one next to them?
No, what do you mean? I'm talking about the sitting right now. That's all I'm talking about.
Can I say something about
We're
this?
sitting and people are talking to each other. And the lecture is going on.
No, you're venting right now. Okay, what do you want me to do? We're not talking about that, sister.
But that's what we say, right? How we look and how people behave, you can tell how.
Yeah, exactly.
But sometimes it might mean that,
Hold on 1 second. It might mean that the speaker's boring too, you know?
or it might mean that your knees or some of your hints are hurting.
Yeah, it could be that too.
You might be injured. And you might be moving.
No, I'm not saying to blame them, but you learn about the person. So what he's trying to teach us is an honorable way of presenting yourself. Like, he's teaching us manners. He's teaching us manners and adab of sitting. Like how to sit in a majlis. Like certain things you don't do. Like picking your nose, right? Oh, that's something we all said, oh yeah. Because in our culture here in America, that's something you don't do, right? Well, other cultures, it's not even a big deal. It'll be right in front of you, like, No big deal. I'm serious. There's cultures it's not a big deal. The point I'm trying to say is he's teaching us the manners of sitting and being with people. Okay, I'll add something to this. Yeah, I know. Yeah. This thing is destroying our manners of sitting with people. This thing is destroying our manners of how we deal with people. You're not listening to him. You're doing 1,000 things. You're checking your email, this, that, everything.
Especially during the Holocaust.
Everything, during everything. The point is, like, nowadays we should add that one to this list too. Don't text while you're talking to people. Don't check your messages. These are all parts of the adab of how we should be with people. Okay, stretching out. You're in high school. You see the kids in class. Oh, right? Like, are you kidding me? We would never do that in front of our teachers. You know, stretching out. To youth, it's like, what's the big deal? But to those who know manners, it's just something you don't do. So right now, that's what he's teaching. So sometimes you're like, wait, what's that? It's just manners. It's just manners. What else did he say? I'm sorry. Spitting, clearing the throat a lot. Spitting, obviously, we wouldn't do that. Playing with different things while you're talking to people. Picking your teeth, obviously, and those things. Sitting in a restless manner. Rather, let the way you sit be quiet and calm, and your speech orderly and well thought out. Think about what you're going to say before you speak. Think before you speak. Without showing exaggerated amazement. So amazing. Hey, come on, man. Get real. And do not ask him to repeat himself. Okay, one more thing I want to put here. Remember people's names.
That's hard.
Remembers people's names. It's the key to them. A name is the key. You remember someone's name and you see him? Abdurrahman. You see him light up. Oh, the guy remembers my name. Names mean so much that people put them on buildings. I'll pay the whole building, just put my name on top. Serious. People love their names. Memorize people's names. Know people. You know what we do? We meet you. Assalamu alaikum. What's your name, brother? 2 minutes later. What was his name? I don't know. Because you didn't care. So learn people's names. How do you do it? You ask him again. What's your name again, brother? I'm sorry, I didn't get that. Literally, you have to... What was that name again, brother? Oh, okay. How do you spell that? Take true interest in the person. Learn people's names. Continuing. Remain silent when people are joking and telling stories. Yeah, don't cut people off during the stories. Even if you heard the story. SubhanAllah, some of our teachers, we go to them telling them, I read this hadith. And you're so happy. He heard the hadith 1,000 times. But he'll listen to you. He'll listen to you like he never heard it before. Seriously, literally. Do not speak about how proud you are of your children, your poetry, your mode of expression, your literary work. Okay, listen. Don't talk about you. When you sit with people, don't talk about you. Try it next meeting. Sit with someone. So how's this going? Ask them. They could spend the whole discussion talking about themselves. You don't be like that. Have interest in that person.
If everyone is doing that, though, no one's going to talk about anyone. It's like, what about you? Now, what about you?
No, everyone won't do that. I guarantee you. Only those of us who read this. And Dale Carnegie, by the way. He says this stuff too. But concern yourself with other people. Yeah, I. Just take I out and be concerned with the next individual. The next person. How are you doing? How's everything in your life?
It's not only I, me, and mine.
and exactly,
Opinion.
huh?
In my opinion.
And you know what's funny? The youth of our time are the most narcissist. Like, they're the worst. Now, with the Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, it's all about me. Everything is me. You got a whole people saying what I'm doing right now. Who cares what you're doing? I'm in class right now. I'm eating pancakes right now. I. And then when they realize no one's listening to them, they have a mental breakdown, right? Because no one's listening to them. But the point is that the most recent Time magazine, get it. It's all about this, like, texting age kids, right? Like, they're all about me. Just me. Taking pictures, like, right? That's all. Like, he's got all pictures. Just, I'm doing this. I'm doing that. It's all narcissist to the highest extent. And that's what Islam came to ratify, is this ana. It's called ana. That me. It's not about you. It's about other people. It's about you helping other people. It's about you giving up your stuff to help other people. But this generation right now, unless they realize, is just getting pulled into it more and more and more. So the most recent Time magazine, I just came to my house like 2 days ago, and it was all about the me millennia. That's what they're called. I was Generation X. I don't know if some of you guys were before they start naming generations. But this millennia is the me. It's all me. So what I want to point out here is it's interesting that Imam Ghazali is saying to us, don't talk about what I'm doing, but rather you should be worried about the next individual. Ask them how they're doing. How are you? How's your family? How's everything? Well, it's very interesting. I highly recommend that Time magazine. Do not go to great length to dress yourself up as women do. This is to us. To the men. Be a man. Don't be effeminate. Oh, it's happening today. Brothers. We don't even want to go into it, how effeminate the men are today. But you guys can figure that out yourselves. Nor let yourself... You know what's funny? You know the sign of the Qiyamah is that for every 50 women will be one man. Maybe the men will be coming like women. Do you get what I'm saying? Wallahu alam. Let's continue. Nor keep yourself unkempt and unruly like a slave. So look, moderation. He's saying don't be in the mirror all day, but keep yourself dignified and noble. Look good. Avoid wearing too much kuhul. So don't put too much, the black stuff in your eye. Don't go overboard.
Don't do that to us.
Yes, you can. It's sunnah. It's sunnah to do it before you go to sleep. Yeah, I know. You know that look.
It changes with
Brothers, can we just leave it? When my mother saw me do that, she said, I don't care. Don't do that no more. She did what he just did right now. It's different for different cultures, right? That why are you putting eye stuff in your eye? But it is a sunnah of Rasulullah ﷺ before you go to sleep for medical purposes to put surma, not for beautification, to clean your eyes. It's a special type of eye, not liner. It's a type of eye medicine, basically,
Eye drop.
that you put on your eye before you go to sleep. It's not for beautification of the eyes. Yeah, on the eyelashes.
Did we move away from the kuhul right now, or are we talking about the kuhul?
That's kuhul.
Okay.
That's kuhul. Okay, but women's is for beautification, which is fine, obviously. Or being extravagant in your use of oil. So don't go overboard with the oil.
It's oil. Is this meaning
Hair oil, gel.
gel?
Gel, he's going crazy, styling up.
Does cologne count too?
No, cologne is fine for men.
People put like way too much.
For men, it's good, but for
To the point that we smell it 2 miles away.
yeah, obviously moderation in everything, like we said before. Do not insist upon having your needs met. Do not insist on having your needs met. SubhanAllah. This is amazing stuff.
But
Do-
I have a question.
yes.
If your needs aren't being met, then why are you in that relationship?
No,
with
do
them?
not insist in general that my stuff has to get done. My stuff has to get done. You should have a self-sacrificing attitude towards the world. Not that everything revolves around me. That's the thing I'm trying to say. The youth today think everything is around them. Everything else is just here because I'm here. Literally. Where he's saying, don't insist that your needs get met. Yes, you try your best for what you need, but there's a difference. Can someone help me? There's a big difference. No, you can't help me with this one because we're stuck in it.
Be content whatever you get.
No, not that. What this is like. You ever seen a spoiled person?
Yes. Don't be like
It's
that.
like there's enough for your needs, but not your greeds.
Yes.
Don't try to satisfy
But you know that spoiled baby when they're like 5 years old and they do that whining when they don't get exactly what they want? And you feel like you got to teach them that you don't get everything in the world. You don't get everything you want. That's not, the world doesn't revolve around you. The way it should be is that you even sacrifice a need for someone else. That's what the objective is. But now today it's just me, Ana.
But brother,
Yo, I'm so worried now about to raise a daughter. Like, that's, you want to give them, but you destroy if you just give everything they want. So you have to be wise, very wise. And it starts at the beginning. Even when they're crying and they're laying down and they always want to be picked up, there's a point where you have to say no, let them cry, and realize they won't get picked up every time. But it takes a good mother and a good father with experience to teach you that, no, don't pick them up every time they cry.
in the beginning.
In the beginning.
Once they're teenagers, it's too late.
It's too late. Exactly. And then you come to the imam and say, he's not listening to me.
Yeah.
But there's also the fact that if you don't pick up a child enough,
But let's,
then they
how
become
about,
they
exactly.
become very insecure. If you pick them up enough that they realize
It's
that
a balance, exactly.
really in
But
trouble.
my whole point here is that we look at the teens now and us in the 20s. That how does this revolve around us? Are we one of those people that it's all about me, how I look, how my reputation is, what my status is, my voice be heard? That's what is more concerning here. That in this generation, what is our take on this? Let's read a little more, inshallah. Do not encourage anyone else to commit oppression. Do not inform your spouse or children, let alone anyone else, of the amount of your wealth. For if they consider it to be little, you will be of little importance to them. And if it is a lot, you will never satisfy them. Let's read that again. Do not inform your spouse or children, let alone anyone else, of the amount of your wealth. Now people ask straight up, how much do you make? Like, you never used to ask that. SubhanAllah. Wait, let's keep going. She was taking a deep breath. I got scared. Okay. Do not inform your spouse or children, let alone anyone else, of the amount of your wealth. Why though? Look the reason why. For if they consider it to be little, you will be of little importance to them. And if it is a lot, they always want more now.
They won't be satisfied.
They won't be satisfied because you make more than that. Come on. There was a point, who remembers the point when they realized what money was? Do you remember when you realized what money was? There's a point where you realize when your mom says, we don't have money, and you're like, oh, okay. Some people don't go through that.
Yeah.
Whatever they want, they just say, I want this. You can't say they don't have money because they can't fathom, what do you mean? We want it, we get it.
No, that's the way.
That's how it is now.
Yeah.
With many of our children. I want it, I get it. What do you mean there's no money? So get some more. Use the credit card. So this is dangerous, brothers. I know we're laughing, but we are destroying them. Right? So it's not done. Some of us are growing them up now, right? It's never too late, inshallah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, he's talking about himself.
that's when I realized, I said, wow, now I really have to watch.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes I don't beg for poverty, but poverty grows character too sometimes.
Yes.
It grows character. Kids become humble. They become appreciative, responsible. You give a kid $1, that's a poor kid, he treats it. But you give a kid now $50. What's $50? You make $20 an hour, Dad. Come on.
So now I make
So like you have to be. Let's go forward a little more. Let's go forward, please. I just want to finish this page at least. Be 1 second, brothers. Be strict with them without being harsh, brothers. Be strict, but don't be harsh. There's a difference. Be lenient without being weak, brothers and sisters. Do not joke around. Okay, this is for people that have our bosses. Like, do not joke around with your male or female servants, or your dignity will be lost. You know when the boss jokes around a lot, no one respects him. That's what it's referring to. So if you're in charge, you got to hold your position. Don't get too relaxed or there'll be no order.
It applies to parents.
Parents too, yeah.
Because they become friends.
Yeah, my father's my friend. Yeah, and then.
And that's what the culture these days are, you know.
Yeah.
You know, they said you have
Homer.
to be,
Homer is Homer, not Dad. Let's read a little more, inshallah, and we'll stop, I promise. Never mind. In arguments with others, listen to this. Listen to this. In arguments with others, guard against your own ignorance and harshness. So when you're in an argument, you shouldn't be in one, but guard against your own. Be careful of your own ignorance and harshness.
Rashness.
Oh, rashness. I'm sorry. Thank you. And rashness.
That's rational.
You jump quick. Quick, like impulsive. Yeah, just quick. You're not thinking. Consider well your points before you make them. Don't just say stuff. Think. Contemplate. Before you make them, do not gesticulate too much. Like, it's what,
Speaking with your hands.
yeah. You know, like all that,
Not
right?
doing sign language, don't speak with your hands.
Huh?
Arabs and Italians, we just do that.
Yeah, so he's saying not too much. Obviously, there's, even Rasulullah ﷺ used some, but there's an overboard of it too, where that's what he's saying, don't do too much. Keep turning around to look to those behind you, or fall to your knees. You know how sometimes someone's talking and they keep looking to the people listening for like support? You ever? Like, why are you looking at them? You're talking to me. So he's saying, look at the one who you're discussing with. Speak only when your anger is abated. This is a qaida kulliya. This is a qaida, meaning a general rule for your whole life. Speak only when your anger is abated. Another scholar said, if you want to punish your children for something, wait until you're not angry anymore, then punish them. Wait until you're not angry. I'm cooled down. Now it's time to give you a punishment for this thing.
But then there's another theory that says you have to stop the misbehavior right there.
Yeah. So now, if you study punishment, who's in law and crime and punishment? If you study rules of punishment, law, crime and law and punishment, you learn that one of the rules of a punishment is that it has to be quick. But again, you can drop your anger like this. Once you get to that level, control your anger. Control your anger. It's not saying you wait till tomorrow when you're not angry. Your anger should die off quicker.
But you can also tell the kid that they're going to get punished for it, but then not do it until your anger's cooled down. So they know what they did wrong. You stopped at that instant.
Yeah.
But you don't.
Yeah, but one of the theories is that when the punishment is delayed, the effectiveness is gone. So, but again, that doesn't signify how long to delay it. But here he's telling us for our own good that you don't want to be punishing anyone while you're angry. Yeah, basically the intellect is gone when you become angry. So don't administer a punishment to anyone in a state that you're not in full comprehension of what you're doing. We're going to stop and let's just finish this paragraph.
What does he mean by fall to your knees?
I don't know. He's saying don't do these things. I don't know.
Oh, it means begging.
Yeah. If the ruler tries to befriend you and bring you close, be with him as you would a sharp edge of a spearhead. Politicians, they want you to come to my office. Let's go for dinner. Anyways, he's saying be careful with those in power. And the same way you are when there's a sharp knife around you, be that way with them, meaning be careful.
Make sure you have your shield.
Let's stop there, inshallah. One more sentence for...
Beware the fair weather friend.
Oh, yes, you're right. You're right. That's a new... You're right. Beware of the fair weather friend. Fair weather friend. You know what that is?
Yeah.
When it's sunny outside, he calls you up. When it's raining, only when the conditions are right does he come around. For those of you getting your driver's license, you'll see a lot of those people. As soon as you get your license on, hey, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Let's go out. Where was I when I had a bike? You never wanted to come. I'm serious. I'm serious. You'll see a lot of this. And we are so young and we want so much acceptance that we know they're using us, but we say, okay. I know he's using me, but I'm using him too, because I need to be felt appreciated. Beware of fair weathered friends, for he is the worst of enemies. And do not value your wealth more than your honor. Look, the thing you value, you won't sacrifice it. So if you value money more, you'll sacrifice everything for money. Like those who sell themselves for money. The money is the most valuable, so for them the common sense is sell whatever it takes to get money. What he's saying is if you value your honor more, you'll never sell yourself out. You'll never sell your dignity out. Always have your honor and your principles set. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this a reality in our lives and give us the ability to act upon this. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum.